Hello everybody, and once again welcome to the episode 9 of the Wild Eye Diaries. My insert today is going to be on my Tip Tuesday post around composition. And thanks again for all your engagement on Tip Tuesday, I always appreciate it. And let's chat a little bit about what it means to have your subject in the right place in the frame. So how do you compose your image? A lot of people don't pay enough attention to composition, and it's really important. So let's kick it off. How many of you actually think about composition first before you actually worry about the technical settings? I'll let that sink in a little bit. We've got a few concepts that we can work through here just to help you with the compositional element of your photography. The first one is visual mass. What is that? In short, it's basically what pulls and what pushes the eye, what attracts the reader's attention to a particular element in your frame, often what's sharp and in focus, what's color and what's contrasty. The next one is to eliminate distractions. How can you simplify your scene? By removing any potential distractions that pull the viewer's eye away from your subject. Then I'm sure you would have heard of the rule of thirds, ultimately making use of the power points on the outer thirds of the image. And the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that it's called a rule, but let's talk through it quickly. You imagine a grid of 9 equal squares, 4 points where the vertical and horizontal lines actually intersect, and they're known as power points. The human eye is naturally attracted to those imaginary power points in an image, so use them to your advantage. So here we go. Just try and ensure that the subject or the focus point of your image intersects on at least one of these power points. And when we get to a few of the images later, I'll show you some of the examples of how it relates to your photography. And then creating space, making use of the outer third in the frame and having your subject either looking into or walking into the remaining 2/3 of space in the image. So essentially you want to eliminate negative space or wasted space on the 2/3 of the photograph. You want to have your subject looking into space, and here are a few examples. So I've got these vultures making use of at least one power point here on the left hand side of the frame, looking into the positive space on the right hand side of the frame, and at least one of those power points are being used. The next is this lion walking from the left to the right hand side, so we've placed him in the left hand side of the frame walking into the space, making use of both power points in this case. Now the other way around. This monkey is about to leap from the one branch to the other. I've got him in the right hand side of the frame, creating space on the left hand side, indicating that that's the direction in which he's going to be moving. Now I've got a lilac-breasted roller, beautiful bird. The branch is coming from the bottom right hand side of the frame, and the bird is placed in that side looking into the positive space on the left hand side, making use of both power points. Here we've got a black rhino kind of looking almost towards us, but also out of the left hand side of the frame, making use of both power points. Once again, lion walking from left to right, so I've placed him on the left hand side of the frame walking into the 2/3 of positive space to the right of the frame. And one of my favorite images of late, this leopard cub using a diagonal line and one of the power points at least looking diagonally across the frame. So remember, in order to take more visually appealing images, it's important to focus on your composition and placement of your frame before just the technical. Hey Instagram, what's happening? As always, thanks for your engagement on my Tip Tuesday posts. The only problem I have with the post that I shared yesterday, and a few people have brought it up in DMs and messages with me, is that composition is often referred to as the rules of composition or the rule of thirds. And of course in photography, I don't like to refer to things as being rules or regulated. At the end of the day, you need to have fun, and I certainly don't want you to go out there and follow hard and fast rules by any means. But at the end of the day, they're just general guidelines to help you take better images, more visually appealing images. So certainly try to abide by certain guidelines, but certainly don't refer to them as rules and hard and fast things that you need to follow all the time. There are many conditions under which you would have to break those rules. Those rules certainly don't apply to all scenes and all situations and scenarios, but they are certainly there to help you improve your photography and certainly improve your images from a visually appealing perspective. But certainly the rules are there to be broken, so break them when you need to, and ultimately just go out there and have some fun. But thanks for your engagement. I always enjoy it. Cheers for now.